It's Tuesday, second day of Oshkosh, and here we are in Jeremiah's basement working on the Badlands. Actually leaving the wee hours tonight with a buddy of mine from Bedford, PA, to ride out to Osh, and so we'll be out there. Me and my buddy Gerald will be out there Wednesday through maybe Saturday, I don't know, camping out in a truck. But we have a little quick catch up on some of the stuff we've done. Been working on the hangar some, been working at home a lot, and also working on the Badlands a little bit. And we got the pitot static tube holder installed in the wing, and I've got a reinforcement angle across right behind the spar to hold it, stiffen it up. And this guy plugs in there. You kind of fish it all in, plug it in. There's your angle of attack and pitot tube, and found out we can mount the AdHars system right in the wing. So our game plan is to mount it about there inside the wing. Might put it on a removable plate, don't know yet. But everything, the angle of attack and pitot system's ready to plumb in. I got the tubes roughed in to length. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to run your dang pitot static tubes all the way back to the panel. Now this is here, and you just put the Dynon device net 4-wire cable on it, and it runs. You just have 4 little, like a Bellin wire, a cable that runs back. It takes all the information from this, and it gives us all the power. So it really simplifies your wiring in the wing. So that's all set up. Next step is to figure out how we're going to mount that in there, and it's kind of nice. And that's it. Your entire pitot and angle of attack tubes and static tubes, for that matter. We're just venting the static line inside the wing, so there's no lines running any more than that. We got a foot of instrumentation lines running, and that's it. Did a little work on the Avionics tray up here. Jeremiah companion here made a good mount, solid mount for it with nut plates in here to mount the battery. And when you fold the dash down in the Badlands, the dash hinges down from the bottom. So this will just fold forward, and you'll have a loop in all your wires, and you can reach right in from the front. So the comm radio and the transponder's mounted here with, it isn't mounted yet, but this is where it's going, with the cables facing, so you can reach right in there with the dash down and disconnect anything you need to disconnect. This is kind of nice. Badlands 3D prints a nice little mount for the ECU that Hypersports uses, and it's mounted there. And I put a little aluminum angle bracket underneath it to reinforce it, and the programming cable plugs in there. So when you sit in a plane, it's a real easy plug-in to program your ECU, and it's really out of your way. And when you're sitting up here, you don't even see it. It's actually hidden from your field of view from there, but it also gives the ECU a nice cool place to breathe and stuff, so there's no heat around the ECU. And the cable routed right out the back of the ECU. You've got 3 cables going to it. You can run through a good Adele clamp on a nut plate here on the front of the tray. On the back side of the firewall, it'll go up here. And when we're going to put a Lexan firewall in while we're building, so till we locate everything and all the holes, and we'll use that as a pattern to cut our stainless steel firewall. But I'm envisioning the harness from the engine is right here on the sidewinder. That's Hypersports harness, and it'll connect right to this guy. This guy will be the bulkhead fitting through the firewall. You got the nut there, and it'll be here or wherever it works best. We have plenty of slack, and nothing's rubbing, nothing's chafing. But I imagine it'll be as far away from the heat of the turbo. The turbo is going to be sitting roughly in here, so it may even wind up over here. We got slack. It won't go there. This internal tubing. This would be the farthest from the turbo we could get it, and that'll probably, it may wind up there probably. But you can see you got a lot of good clearance on the cables. I like the radio and the transponder. It looks like they're going to be here. Got all the cables. Again, the connectors facing where you'll be able to access when you fold the instrument panel down. They got a backup battery for the Dynon HDX here. I think that's going to wind up here, and then right here is this is the EMS. It's a Rotax engine monitor system from Dynon. you plug your thermocouples into this guy and sensors in here to give your engine information to your dynon. And again, it's only connection other than the thermocouples and pressure sensors and such. The only connection on a lot of this stuff is a 9-pin sub D connector, and it's all daisy chained. So everything just talks on a network, and it supplies all the units of power. So it's pretty slick. This is my first dynon experience, and I'm very much looking forward to learning the system. And I think the second time around will be easier, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. And we've got a lot of stuff spread around. Like I said, the pitot static units in the wing, and then on the back we got the magnetometer mounted in the tail. As far as I know, it's a good spot for it. Magnetometers here. Again, it's just another 9-pin network powered unit. And then we've got the an ADS-B unit here that goes out to an antenna. So possibly this may go up front and run the coax back here to the antenna, or we may run the network cable up. I'm thinking, since it's all network, we might be able to daisy chain this together with the magnetometer and just take one network cable forward for both units. So I don't know yet. That's tentatively where we're going. And Ray's got the servo. We got the elevator trim servo out of it. He's having a machinist buddy make us some cool pillow blocks to hold a cable. We're gonna, instead of putting the drive unit, the servo, out on the elevator, feeding the elevator trim tab, I decided to mount it in here and mount the cable to the actuator here, and just run a short push-pull cable right out like we do in a Highlander. In a Highlander, you run it all the way to a manual lever up front. We're going to mount just a little 4 or 5 foot long cable that comes off that servo, goes right out. So you don't have the electronics of this and a brick of that hanging, throwing your elevator out of balance. It's going to be in here, out of the weather, and you're just going to take a push-pull cable out to it. So I think it's going to work out real nice. And the parts that he made to fit this servo unit that our buddy Joe Morlock made they're going to be sweet. I think people are going to probably want to buy them off of Joe when they see them, and that we'll get those on in a couple of weeks. And that's about it.
I don't think we did anything on the actual
panel
instrumentation.
Oh yeah, we should go up there. Yeah, you still recording? Mm-hmm. We're showing you the backward side of it, but here's his 10-inch HDX dynon display, and he's got the this would be the radio controller here, the audio panel here, and then this is the autopilot unit here. We're gonna have a 2-axis autopilot in this plane. Ray wanted, so you got the elevator and aileron, I guess, servos on it, and anyhow, that's all controlled from here. And again, all this stuff is is networked together with them sub D connectors and that. And then most of the switches will wind up here. We're going to have a line of circuit breakers out of sight, just to kind of pop out. So if you lose something, you can run your finger across the circuit breakers and fill the pop one. And we'll just put them in the same order for switches. So the circuit breakers won't be on your panel. We'll just have nice switches. And then the circuit breakers will be kind of out of sight, right? Just sticking down through this Avionics tray right here. So they'll be kind of plunged through there. Just trying to keep the panel as clean and uncluttered as we can. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out and stuff. But most of the controls, the stuff for shutting things down, and that'll be here. Might have Avionics or strobe light switches over here, but haven't really got for that yet. Still thinking about the jacks for the pilot headset too. We got room. There's a tube behind here. There's a cross tube, but we do have room here to possibly put the jacks for the pilot headset here. Or I don't know if it'll work out as good, but I got this angle bracket on the ECU mount. We can possibly put them there. We'll talk to Ray and figure out where he wants them in that. But we got some decisions coming up to be made and stuff. And sorry, Ray ain't here to say hi. He's been coming in a lot, but here the last couple of weeks with me going to Oshkosh coming up, and they've been working a lot to pay for this thing. And yeah, we've been slow. We've been slow because he hadn't been in town as much, but we'll get it when he gets in. We get a lot done.
So you're heading out for Oshkosh. Where can people find you out there?
I'll probably be hanging around the Badlands booth at the ultralight field, and definitely at the Just Aircraft booth also, and stuff. And yeah, just we're camping. We'll be camping in the campground that's across the road from the Red Barn. And yeah, just hit me up on Messenger or something if you want to get together. I'd sure like to see all my Just Aircraft buddies and the Badlands guys, and TJ. I hope to hunt him down and stuff, and Matt Dorsum. And yeah, I hope we have a good time out there. It's going to be weird without an airplane out there, but it's also going to be relaxing because 3 of the last 4 years we flew Hee-Haw out, and it's always a good time. But man, you sweat putty balls thinking the weather might come and wipe you out. I think I'm going to be relieved. I flew to Sun and Fun in the spring, and we dodged a little weather on that trip, and I just kind of scratched the itch for a big flight this year. And I've been so immersed in getting this ready and working on a hangar for my buddies where we're hopefully going to be building a lot of airplanes. And it's just had a full plate this year. It's more building than flying. And our weather here, Jeremiah, tell me about it.
I will be moving to Florida in 4 years once I finish my electrician apprenticeship.
Yeah,
that's how sick of the weather in Pittsburgh I am.
Him and Lulu have absolutely lost their minds this spring. I mean, I'm old and I'm used to it, but man, this Western PA weather this year has been nothing but rain and wind, and it's been tough. I still got a lot of flying in, but it ain't been a fun spring, summer here in Pennsylvania. You guys that live in the moderate climates, God bless you. You got it made compared to us, but a lot of people have had it worse than us. The folks in Texas and that have taken a beating, and I sympathize with them because we have not had a fun year ourselves. So that's about it, I guess.